So with that, we'll go ahead and start our June 2nd Tuesday Rotary meeting. So welcome everybody today to our Zoom meeting. And we've got a great program today. Just a couple quick items. If you are adjoining a Rotarian or a visiting friend today, please click on the middle of your screen at the bottom and go ahead and put your information in there so we can recognize you and welcome you to our meeting today. And with that, we'll go ahead and move forward. I'll turn it over to Joe and we'll get started with our song and pledge. Thank you, Joe.
America, America, God shed His grace on thee. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and a mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine till all success be nobleness, and every gain give
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Joe. And we'll go ahead and move right into our invocation today. And for our invocation, we'd like to welcome Ian Fletcher. Ian, take it away.
Thank you, Jason. Let us pray. We beseech thee, our Heavenly Father, to bestow thy grace, mercy, and favor upon this meeting. Thank you for being our protector and guide. What the world needs more than ever is love. Continue to heal those with this vicious disease. Continue to bless the medical professional that have gone above and beyond in helping those with COVID-19. Bless the essential workers which continue to work to ensure all our needs are met. Thank you for the community coming together to support the less vulnerable population in need and our businesses to help sustain them. Thank you for the successful launch of the SpaceX Crew Dragon on Saturday. Our nation is hurting and emotions have increased because of the death of George Floyd. The increased feelings have created a divide between us. Teach us to listen to one another actively. Teach us to understand one another's perception. Teach us to work together to find a solution. Most of all, teach us to love each other. While wisdom, knowledge, and understanding may cease, our love for each other, our community, our nation will always remain. Guide us to gain empathy for each other. Help us to realize that our community, state, country, and the world will be a better place if we embrace them with love. We give thanks for this Rotary Club. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate that, and definitely some very thoughtful words that we can all take with us. And with that, we have a long list of guests today. I'd like to go ahead and recognize everyone that's our guest today. I'll go ahead and apologize for now if I destroy anyone's name. So I do forget. I'd like to apologize for that now. So let's start. We have Becker Holland, welcome. Patricia Gregory, Natalya Bennister, Stephanie Derlis, Wesley Robbie, April Pounder, Anthony Pierce, John Jopling, Melissa Pisco, Lakeisha Thomas, Lakeisha Bowie, and Michael Naruski. So welcome. Glad to have you here today. I've got one more, it looks like that just added on. We have a Irma Alvarez. So welcome. Greetings all, and thank you for being here. If I missed anybody, Wesley, you can chime in and let me know. All right, and with that, just as a reminder to our fellow Rotarians, if you're watching this on YouTube, Joe will have it posted on YouTube afterwards, please go to info@rotarygainesville.org so you get credit for being at the meeting or watching the meeting. As currently right now, I don't believe we have any further announcements, and I will mention that if you have announcements, please email me directly. We send out a reminder each week, and I'll be happy to have you listed down for announcements. I believe we have a craft talk coming next week as well. So with that, I'll turn it over to President Chad. Take it away, sir.
I only have one announcement for today. Louis Calavoda is on the call with us today, and Louis, you had a birthday on Friday. So happy birthday to you. I'm glad you're here with us today. Tammy Prince is going to introduce today's speaker. Tammy.
Unmute.
Just unmute.
Okay. I did. Now can you hear me?
Yep,
Perfect.
we can hear you.
Okay. I have the wonderful pleasure today of introducing Natalya Bennister. She is a nationally recognized leader with a track record of positioning organizations for profitability and growth through optimal vision, transformational leadership, programming, and social change. Her experience in nonprofit leadership and advocacy has inspired Natalya to empower individuals to live their purest and most authentic lives with love at the core. Natalya currently serves as the Executive Director of PACE Center for Girls, where she paves the way to a brighter future for At Promise. My computer just said my internet went out. Can y'all still hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, wrong. At Promise teenage girls who have experienced severe trauma and abuse. She was hired as the second Executive Director of PACE in 2014, where she has unprecedented success. Under her leadership, PACE has doubled the number of girls served, broken fundraising records, modernized PACE with a complete campus renovation, added a health clinic, and led a successful capital campaign that positions PACE to serve more girls for years to come. Prior to assuming the helm at PACE, Natalya was Vice President of the Boys and Girls Club of Alachua County, where she earned numerous national awards in programming, marketing, and communication. She was also awarded the Boys and Girls Clubs of America's highest national honor for program excellence 4 years in a row. Additionally, Natalya has been recognized and profiled by numerous esteemed media publications and organizations for her dynamic leadership, advocacy, and her ability to break down social barriers. Natalya is profiled as one of Gainesville's top 40 under 40 business leaders, a recipient of the University of Florida's Alumni of the Year Award by the Department of Family, Youth, and Community Science, and was most recently recognized as a 2020 Woman of Distinction. Natalya was also a TEDxUF speaker, where she shared her revolutionary idea of the power of leading with love. Now a second-year doctoral student at UNF, she is strengthening her leadership philosophy with research and science to support the next generation of leaders. With leadership theories rooted in love, her goal is to inspire individuals as they discover and grow in their passions and embrace healthier, fulfilling, purpose-driven lives. I'd now like to introduce the wonderful Natalya.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today. And I just want to thank you, Tammy, for the wonderful introduction. I was like, wow, that's a long one. but I'm happy, just so happy to be here with y'all. I feel like I'm among family members as I've visited many Rotary meetings. I also have great relationships with, of course, our beautiful board member, Tammy Prince, who just introduced me. But I think we should just go ahead and start with the video, because that would really bring a lot of perspective to our program and our girls, and then I'll move forward from there. So, Joe?
There's nothing like PACE Center for Girls. We merge the holistic services of trauma-informed care with our mental health services and academics. We're nationally recognized as one of the most successful trauma-informed programs and gender-responsive programs in the country. I stand here representing girls who come from a variety of backgrounds and circumstances. They're the bravest, most resilient girls I've ever known.
What brought me to PACE was I was struggling with a lot of stuff that I didn't know how to cope with. So I was using drugs and alcohol to cope with those things I was feeling. Had to go through the teen court process, and they brought me to PACE, which was one of the best things that could ever happen to me.
I came to PACE because I went to regular school for the first time and it didn't work out. I feel like just let myself down, so I felt disappointed. So I didn't even want to do it no more. Like, what's the point?
I was in a relationship that wasn't okay for me. I was doing things that wasn't okay with me. I could see myself going down a wrong path.
When I came to PACE, they gave me the motivation to keep going. Don't give up. There's always a second chance.
We have 9 guiding principles that really build the foundation of our program. A lot of times when I ask the girls, what's your favorite guiding principle? It's embrace growth and change, because I had no idea what I had inside of me, and now I'm changing.
PACE is different from regular schools because the counselors at PACE, having them to be able to open up to and connect with, I didn't know what anxiety was. I didn't have anyone to talk to. I felt like this weight that came off my shoulders.
The moment that I realized I could change my life around was probably my second counseling session. We have such a support system. When you have a problem, they want to help you. And Miss Jessica really understood me, and I can't change the world, but I can change how I react to things, and that really helped me.
They figure out methods to help us cope with it. If you have anger issues, what triggers you to get angry. Basically, it's the counselor checking up on you every week to see how you're doing.
Our entire PACE team, they're all 100% committed to making sure that our girls succeed. We have a 14-to-1 ratio in our classrooms. Every single girl is assigned a mental health counselor. All of our services are free of charge. We are here for you. We're a resource that any girl can turn to.
With PACE, I have enjoyed going to Tallahassee with them to speak to the legislators. I went to a golf tournament with them. We do community service in Miss Tracy's class. PACE actually wants their students to get more involved with the outside world.
Our program is strength-based. So for that girl who's never heard that she's done anything great before, at PACE, she's learning about herself and the great things that she can accomplish. And we make sure we give her every opportunity to explore that.
There's girls here who I know, including me, who never would have dreamed of college. PACE changed that for me. I felt like I had hope again, that I could really be a veterinarian, or I really could get a scholarship to go to college. I could really do something with my life.
I've learned that I'm capable of a lot of things that I didn't think I could ever do. Every high school should be like PACE, every middle school should be like PACE. All the counseling and all the education, just the system.
Every girl who needs access to our program deserves that second chance. And that's where our community comes in. We're asking that you support us in however you can, whether it's in kind, through donations. We want to get every single girl off of our waiting list. If we're investing in girls, we're investing in our next generation.
All right. Can everyone hear me okay?
Sound good?
Awesome. Well, I was trying not to cry. I've seen that video. I mean, I was in the video, I've seen that video, but I still get emotional every time I watch it. Those are our girls. Those are real girls who have been through real things, and they have overcome and graduated and moved on to do wonderful things. So I hope you enjoyed it and was able to really learn about who we are by hearing it directly from our girls, because there's no better way to learn about PACE than from the girls who have actually experienced it. So again, thank you. I'm really, really happy and also honored to be among you today. If you know PACE, it's because you're a Rotarian, and Rotarians love PACE because here you are on our classroom. I wanted to just start off by saying how grateful I am for your support over the years. This sign is on one of our classrooms where Tom and Susan Spain supported our founding executive director, Kathy Southwick, and our board at the time, to which Tammy was also there, where we added classrooms to PACE. And you all are longtime supporters, and we couldn't have grown without you. I also want to give a big virtual hug to Carol and Bill Zagel, who are our biggest cheerleaders. And I hope you're on this call because we love and appreciate all the work and advocacy you do for us as Rotarians and community members. And again, our board member, Tammy Prince. So I really wanted to talk about the journey, the evolution of really the most transformational program for girls, not only in this state, but in this nation. 10 years ago, the state of Florida was arresting more girls than any other state in this country. So that, to put it in perspective, 20,000 girls a year were being arrested, being lost in the juvenile justice system, and becoming re-victimized. Mainly traumatized girls. They truly didn't stand a chance in the juvenile justice system. And to put it in financial perspective, the human cost for these girls were devastating, but the financial burden for taxpayers is also substantial. It is expensive to put a child through the juvenile justice system. Simply put, the cost to hold a girl in a detention center for 1 year is 3 times the cost it is to put a girl through PACE for 1 year for transformational services. We recently celebrated 35 years of serving girls throughout the state of Florida. And we have grown from 1 center in Jacksonville to 21 centers around the state, transformed the lives of over 40,000 girls. That's a lot of girls. And the number continues to grow as we've just expanded into Georgia and moving into other states as we speak. In 1998, Gainesville, right here, our community, was experiencing the same challenges as the rest of the state. Held back by generational poverty and unimaginable trauma, our girls were becoming lost in the juvenile justice system, arrested for non-violent offenses, and held in a system that didn't truly understand gender-specific needs. This affected the most vulnerable girls in our community. Girls were being arrested, dropping out of school, and finding themselves absolutely lost with nowhere to go and no one to turn to, until PACE. PACE Alachua came into our community. With the legislative work of Rod Smith and the support of this community, PACE Alachua has saved the lives of thousands of girls over the last 22 years. That's 22 years right here in Gainesville, Florida. There's been a direct correlation with how many girls in the state have decreased in arrest with PACE Center for Girls establishment. So I wanted to say that too, that's extremely important, the impact that PACE has had, not just only in our Gainesville community, but across the state of Florida. So here is a brief overview of who we are. We literally take girls at the most critical point in their lives where their fates could be sealed at any moment. One more wrong turn, one more heartbreak, one more hit. Depression, suicide attempts, And might I add, COVID-19, these are the traumas they are facing. They are the things they experience as young girls. They are our most vulnerable group in our community, our most vulnerable group of children, and they are ever present all over Gainesville. So instead of re-victimization, PACE provides counseling for the traumas that held them back. Instead of jail, academic support so that they can be the first to graduate in their family and break the cycle of generational poverty. PACE is more than just a school and a social service center. It is a movement. It is a movement that affects every single one of us in our community, every single one of our lives. Empowering girls and young women is the most surefire way to move humanity forward. Over the last 5 years at PACE, we've experienced incredible growth. We have given a second chance to more girls than ever before. Our enrollment has increased by 50%, and our waiting list continues to grow. In an effort to meet the need and serve more girls, we ran out of space and we launched a successful capital campaign thanks to the support of this community. And we expanded our campus to accommodate the growing number of girls who desperately need us. Now, we know we cannot control the traumas that a girl may face, but what we do have control over is the capacity to save them by opening up our hearts so that they can heal and move beyond their trauma and have a fighting chance at life. And yesterday's PACE girl has grown on to do great things. Today, these young women are serving as leaders in our military. Our girls today are the women who are providing care to us in our hospitals right here at Shands in North Florida. Today, there are the mothers, the mother of your children's classmates. Tomorrow, these girls will be leading our country. So who is a PACE girl? Well, they come to us again at a very critical point in their lives. So here's a little bit of demographics about them. Though these don't define them, this is how they come to us at PACE. Over 70% of them are failing at least one or more classes when they come to PACE. They're usually about a year behind in school. And that's not a reflection of their intelligence. That's a reflection of the trauma that they've been through. 58% of them have a parent or sibling that is incarcerated or on probation. 81% have a serious physical health problems. 40% have experienced suicidal ideation. That's almost half of our girls who are grappling with suicide. And 98% of our girls struggle with living with the unique challenges that poverty brings. So the PACE paradigm really is a strength-based, trauma-informed, gender-responsive approach. And we are extremely unique because we are the only program that offers this specific, I call us a unicorn because we are very, very specific to the needs of our girls. We are the only one like it in our community, and we are the only one like it in our nation. This paradigm grew out of the experiences our girls were having in the juvenile justice system, a system that was designed for boys and is the last place that we want a girl who is experiencing trauma to go. These are the pillars of our program and the reason that we are so successful at transforming the girls of lives we serve. So I want to just briefly, I mentioned the importance of investing in girls financially, but overall, investing in a girl is really, the fact is in educating and empowering women, we will have a greater chance of escaping poverty, leading healthier and more productive lives, and raising the standard of living for their families, children, and of course, our community. And I want to talk about our success, because why is it important to invest in girls at PACE? Because we are a proven model of success and we have the metrics to back it up. We do what we say we're going to do for our girls, for our community, and for our donors. 90% of our girls at PACE improve academically. And as I said before, they're coming in behind. I said 1 year behind, but some of them come many years behind. Some of them come to us with just a couple of credits, and we're able to catch them back up and have them improve. And 1 year after leaving PACE, 93% of our girls have no further involvement with the juvenile justice system. That is amazing for our growing, beautiful community. 93% of our girls after leaving PACE 1 year were in school, higher education, or gainfully employed. So we've moved from an intervention and prevention, though that's what our foundation is, to really achievement. We know our girls can achieve the stars, but we really have to help them see beyond their circumstances. So we want them to envision what happens after PACE, to dream to be the first in their family to go to college, and to make that dream come true, to move beyond their environment, to move beyond their trauma, to become contributing citizens of our community. So on this slide, this really highlights the top issues our girls are facing, especially during the COVID-19 crisis, which I know many of you were concerned about. How are our girls going through this? I mean, how are we all going through this? This is a challenging time for the world, for all of us, and especially the girls that we serve at PACE. So honestly, we've all had to adjust to a new normal. But for girls with limited resources, that adjustment comes with huge challenges. It makes our girls even more vulnerable. It makes them more vulnerable to the risk factors that they came to PACE with in the first place before COVID-19. So right now, they've already faced these challenges, but even more so, food insecurity. Many of our girls are not getting the food that they need, but we are working hard to serve them. Loss of income, our girls have lost their jobs. We had about 20% of our girls employed, helping them get jobs, because for many of our girls, their job was their primary source of income, and many of our girls lost their job because they work in the service industry. Many of their parents have lost their jobs because they work in the service industry. And also, our girls also have an extreme chance of, a much higher chance of dropping out of school. They were already either dropped out of school or at risk of dropping out when they came to PACE. So during a time like this really magnifies some of the issues that they had, especially depression, anxiety, thoughts of suicide. They're all triggered by this very real impact of COVID-19 on our girls and their families. So through these challenging times, I am really proud to say that we are seeing success during COVID-19 for our girls. And this is why it's so critical that we keep our foot on the gas and serve these girls to the highest of our ability. They need PACE now more than ever. 100% of our girls enrolled, and we are at full capacity right now. We will have some spots available later, but right now we are at full capacity, and 100% of our girls are receiving services from counselors and our teachers. That's kind of amazing when we found that the national average is 56%. So we are really working hard. Our teachers, our counselors, they're picking up calls at midnight, at 3 a.m. They're making sure that our girls are receiving any service that they need. And I like to call PACE like that one-stop shop. It's not just, though we help them academically, they need support if they don't have electricity, if they don't have Wi-Fi to join us, if they don't have food. It's really difficult to have a girl grow academically or socially if their basic needs aren't met. So we really try to meet them where they are. And that's what a lot of the support that you give us goes to, is really making sure our girls are served holistically so that they can be successful. So here is what our academic services look like today. This is the new normal. This is COVID-19 at PACE. This is one of our amazing teachers. She is our reading teacher, and this is one of our beautiful PACE students. She and other PACE students say that PACE is one of the most consistent things in their life. So you see she's got her PACE shirt on and she's not at school. They wake up in the morning, they put their uniform on, and they're ready for school because we're ready to serve them. For many of them, this is what they look forward to every single day. So again, that's why we keep our foot on the gas. That's why we make sure that we show up every day, because showing up every day is our most important job for our girls. And our mental health services. Our counselors are reaching out to girls at all times of the day and night, because PACE was, for most of our girls, their safe place. So we have an on-call counselor that is on, the phone is on 24/7. Any girl can reach out to a PACE counselor at any time. And that's life-saving, considering what our girls are going through. Our counselors are using telehealth to have sessions with the girls, so they're continuing their mental health counseling. And social isolation comes with mental health challenges for everyone, but especially for our girls who have already had, they're already coming from a very vulnerable place. So it really has exacerbated a lot of the anxieties and depressions that they dealt with, which made them come to PACE in the first place. Our girls feeling anxious and depressed is extremely dangerous. We need to make sure that we're continuously supporting them, being consistent and serving them with their mental health services to not only help them be successful, but to be very transparent, keep them alive. So we are facing a lot of challenges right now as an organization, as many organizations and businesses are, but we are also considered an essential service. And as you can see, we are serving our most vulnerable population. Our challenge during this pandemic has not been reaching our girls. We've achieved high success with that, but really recovering from our canceled fundraisers and reduced grant allocations for COVID-19 that we really depended on to keep our program strong. We are facing a loss of over $100,000 this fiscal year, which ends June 30th. And that is a direct result of canceled fundraisers and, again, grant allocations being reduced for us. This translates into a possible reduction in staff and teachers and counselors who are critical in keeping our girls connected and engaged. We have to move forward academically, and keeping our girls mentally strong throughout this time. We are 100% at capacity now, and as always, we still have a waiting list of girls who need us with a $100,000 deficit. And I say $100,000 loosely because that's just accounts for the fundraisers. That doesn't account for the additional expenses COVID-19 has brought on our organization. If our girls are hungry, we're gonna get them food. If they need Wi-Fi, we're gonna pay for their Wi-Fi. If they need a device, we're gonna get a device. And I'm thankful for the community who have donated devices for us, because without that, we wouldn't have been able to serve our girls. So thank you for that. So I do wanna make this clear though, PACE will never close its doors. We are a sustainable organization, but just like anyone else through this time, we are vulnerable. We have been successfully serving girls in our community who need us most for over 22 years without a break, continuously. And we are a year-round program. Our poor girls get about maybe 5 days off a year, but for many of them, they don't even want those days off a year because they really, really love coming to the program. And they didn't pay me to say that. I see it, I get the letters, they tell us that when we talk to them. So again, this is a really critical program for them mentally, academic, and socially. But we haven't stood idle since the COVID-19 crisis began, and even though our fundraisers were canceled. Instead, our tremendous board, hey Tammy, our tremendous board has formed a COVID-19 task force, which is led by Tammy Prince, and they began reaching out to the community for support so that we can remain sustainable. And the community did respond, and we are so grateful. But while we are not there yet, we have not reached our goal yet, we're working diligently to close this deficit, again, which is over $100,000, not considering all of the extra expenses that have come with COVID-19 for our girls. But we have to close this deficit so that we continue to transform the lives of the amazing girls that we serve and operate at full capacity. Lives are depending on this. So I want to talk about how you can help. And this picture always makes me emotional, so I'm going to try to keep it together. But how can you help? We need you to believe in the importance and investing in girls enough to support the sustainability of PACE Center for Girls. Help us bridge the budget gap to serve every single girl in our community that needs and deserves a second chance at life. Your gift is the gift of opportunity. The opportunity for girls in our community to grow up and be the women they were truly meant to be and contribute to the community that we all share and love. This is our graduation, which is one of our proudest moments every year at PACE. And we will be having a virtual graduation this year because we have 14 girls slated to graduate from high school this year. 14 girls that have every obstacle against them, that have dealt with unimaginable traumas and even COVID-19, and they are still on track to graduate. Many of these girls are the first in their families to do so. That is our goal, breaking generational poverty, making sure that our girls are the first so that their kids won't be the first, they'll be the next to go even further. These incredible girls will not stop at graduation. Many of them have already, we just got notification that 3 have received full scholarships to Santa Fe, and we're hoping for more. So we're extremely excited about the successes during COVID-19, but this is what I know our community wants, to see this, to see girls who never thought they could become anything, not only go on to graduate, go on to college, go on to be the women that they were meant to be. I believe, and I know you believe, that we will come through this stronger than ever. And thanks to our board, our staff, and community supporters like you, our amazing family, Rotarians, who are willing to invest in the future of our girls, and you've been investing in the future of our girls, we might not otherwise have a chance. So our girls now have a chance to be productive, happy, strong in mind, body, and spirit. When you invest in PACE, you invest in the life of Alachua County's most vulnerable girls, and you give them a reason to believe that their futures are bright. It is defined by hope and possibility when you invest in a girl. Now, I am, again, honored to be here with you today to do a refresher on PACE. I haven't had the opportunity to come talk about PACE in person with you all since I've been the executive director, but I've really been looking forward to it. I have attended a few meetings, so I'm extremely happy to be here and grateful for your support. So again, thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Natalya, thank you so much for speaking to our group today. You did an amazing job. We do have a few questions, and for those of you that have questions, if you put them into the Zoom group chat at the bottom of your screen, I'll be happy to read them to Natalya, and then she can answer them. So the first question, Natalya, is what improvements do you feel are necessary in the juvenile justice system?
I believe that in the juvenile justice system, though I understand everyone is well-intended, it was designed for boys a long time ago. Girls who end up in the juvenile justice system for nonviolent offenses, what they truly need, and many times if we look at statistics about girls who end up in jail, they have been abused, they have experienced trauma. So it becomes re-victimization when they go to jail because it's like punishment for their trauma. So our job really is to dig in and find out what are the reasons that are causing these girls to act out or fail or break the law. There are reasons behind that, and the juvenile justice system, I'm not as familiar with the framework because I haven't worked within the juvenile justice system. I work with the juvenile justice system, but to really understand trauma-informed care, to understand the importance of mental health support for these girls, and then give them an opportunity to find out what they're good at, because we found that that has been extremely important. For many of our girls, they have never heard what they are good at. What are you good at? Or given the opportunity to find out what they're good at. Everybody's good at something. They need opportunities to grow and succeed, not opportunities to really be confined and feel punished. And I hope that answers that question.
That was a great answer. Thank you. At the moment, that seems to be the only question we have. So if other folks have questions, please use the chat feature at the bottom of your screen. I believe we have some additional guests. Jason, is that right?
Okay, a little technical difficulty there. Sorry, that's my phone. Thank you so much, Chad, for letting me know that I was on mute multiple times. What a great program. Wesley, if you could chime in, please. I think you have that list. Chad deleted it for me by accident, I believe. If you could recognize our guests for me, the ones that we added on to the end, I would greatly appreciate that.
Let's see. Well, Jessica Bone, welcome. Joanne Kramer. Richard's wife Susan joined us. Joanne, let's see. Keisha McDonald, Tracy Amber Bride, Sarah Dominique, and Patrice Boyers. I think those are the new ones.
All right, that's great. Thank you. Natalya, we have a few more questions.
Sure.
How many girls are you currently serving at the PACE Center?
Right now, we are serving 60 girls. But over the year, it ends up being around 100, a little bit over 100 girls per year. We try to keep, because we have a 1-to-14 classroom ratio, so we try to keep it as small as possible with making the biggest impact that we can.
Natalya, you mentioned an online fundraiser, I believe. Can you tell us more about that? When and how did we get to that?
I don't think I mentioned an online fundraiser, but all of our fundraisers were canceled. So our golf tournament was canceled, and that was with Mary Wise, who we all know and love. And we were thinking about actually pivoting and moving that to an online fundraiser, and that's still up for discussion right now. As far as how we are approaching fundraising, we're just being very transparent about where we are. We're making personal calls, we're sending emails, we're making sure the community understands just the situation that we're in rather than having a traditional fundraiser. We may do something online eventually, and when we do, I promise you will be one of the first people to know about it. But what we're really doing, led by Tammy Prince, is just picking up the phone and calling our supporters, calling community members, and letting them know where we are right now and how they can help.
Thank you. How about used computers? Do you welcome donated used computers?
Absolutely, absolutely. Some of our girls are still using Kindles, and those are proved a little bit difficult to do schoolwork with, and we just got a few more computers donated yesterday, so I'm grateful for that. But we could use more computers. As our girls are still taking classes online. They do not have the summer off. They have classes the entire summer.
How about the average age range for the girls that you serve?
Sure, it's middle and high school girls. So a girl coming from 5th grade going to 6th, all the way up to a senior in high school.
Has your funding from the state been altered?
That's an amazing question. And as of right now, no, because they haven't made those decisions yet. So we are kind of on standby, waiting to see what the governor will do. We know that we have a strong place in the governor's heart, and that we hope that we don't experience any cuts, but it is a possibility, a big possibility with everything going on, that we will experience a cut. How big, we don't know yet, but we are bracing for it.
How about PACE's relationship with Alachua County Schools?
We are contracted with Alachua County Schools so that, first of all of our academics are completely aligned. All of our teachers have to adhere to the same standards as Alachua County Public Schools. Plus, we also make sure that all of our teachers have reading certifications and all the above, but we're contracted with them. We also do get FTE for our teachers. So our relationship with the school district is extremely critical. So if they experience cuts, that will also be detrimental to our program as well.
I hear the Alachua County schools have been recalling their devices. And would those devices be made available to your students during the summer to keep your students online?
I hope so, and that is something that we are just starting to explore because we recently got that notification as well. So we hope that we would be able to access those, but we don't have an answer yet. And that's a great question as well.
All right. Well, Natalya, that looks like our last question. So let me thank you again for speaking to our group. Thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it. We're going to make a donation in your name to inoculate 100 children from the polio virus. So thank you again for your contribution to our group. And Richard, would you please speak to next week's speaker?
Sure, Chad. And again, thanks to Natalya for the great program today and everybody at PACE who makes all this happen. It's really inspiring. And thanks to Tammy Prince and Carol Siegel and all of our fellow Rotarians for supporting PACE. Next week, we're going to have a Zoom panel discussion on financial and investment topics that are relevant to the unusual times in which we're living. 4 professionals from our club, Kirk Klein, David Gracie, Rick Fabiani, and Kent Walker, will discuss with us a number of finance and investment related topics. They'll cover questions like how might investments fare as we come out of the pandemic over the next year or so? What should retirees be thinking about? How differently should those near retirement or younger workers in their 30s or 50s be thinking of their investment strategies? And what are some habits of highly effective investors? It'll be the first time that we've tried having multiple presenters, but we've been practicing and I think it'll be informative. So tune in next Tuesday and please feel free to invite non-members to join our meetings because these are good opportunities for all of us to introduce people to Rotary. Thanks, Chad. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Richard. Natalya, thank you for all that you do every day for our community and for our girls. You're amazing, and we're so lucky to have you here in Gainesville.
Thank you. I love Gainesville.
All right, well, our meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for attending today.